platform that provides self-service data visualizations. They're very interactive and very flexible visualizations to the end users. It empowers the end users for data discovery and data explorations through intuitive ways. This all is made possible by a patented click technology called associative data indexing. What this technology means to us is associative data indexing dynamically calculates and exposes the relationships that exist in complex multi-source data sources. These relationships have probably been hidden from us in our traditional query-based approaches. Every time a user makes a selection, ClickSense guides them to take the next steps. You are seeing on the screen right now is a ClickSense application. ClickSense application is made up of multiple sheets, and each sheet allows you to analyze data from the different perspective. To begin with, I'm going to make some selections so that I'm going to drive my data discovery based on some filters, some focus I'm going to be applying on the data discovery in here. So as you can see, the moment I made some selections, the other data points on this particular sheet turned into different colors. There's some white, there's some green, and then there are some different shades of the gray. This allows people on any skill level to do more intuitive exploration on data relationships. Whatever I selected is highlighted in gray. All the data points that are related to my selections are in white, and unrelated or the excluded data is in dark gray. Light gray depicts the alternative data that is available to me for the selections. Another point to make emphasis is the more narrow selections that I make, further the relationship that exists in the data stands out. So as you can see, the moment I selected year 2016, my choices narrowed down to this particular program name, which tells me in 2016 there were not any other audits for these level of the OUs that were completed. It further tells me that the question types for this particular audits are limited to check-ins, compliance, and surveys, and that 2016 safety checks are available or were implemented only in the United States of America. Making my selections, I move further along. Another point that I will make to here, all the selections that I make on any sheet as part of this application sticks with me throughout the application. If I want to change my selection, I can click anytime on any of those selections on the top, and I can select them or select anything else on these prompts that are provided on the top of each of these sheets. So this helps me to follow my notes in the application, and also they're always available for me to be able to ask and answer the next questions. I can also do a search that I'm looking for a particular word in the data model, and I want to see how it is in my data model. I can see that for the word egress, I can see that it exists in the category. It is existing as part of my question text or my finding text or recommendations. So that is the global search functionality. It provides values in charts. It provides fields as part of the data models, and also it can select the suggestions. So what I'm seeing on this sheet right now is what are my surveys results for 2016 safety checks for the OUs. So 26 survey app that I'm showing you today is an audit checklist type of the survey. So all the responses are either yes and no means there has to be some kind of a finding, and based on that we are calculating non-compliance percent. So what I am seeing in here is what are the counts of the yeses and nos as it stands on the various facilities. counts of yes and no on another different dimension as to the question types by the category. And we are adding another metric in here as to what's the count of the non-compliance person metric and the question count and count of the answered questions. So looking at this graphic, what it tells me that the number of the questions are higher on the stock category, followed by the egress category. All the questions have been answered, but what I'm seeing which is standing out to me that the non-compliance percent is higher on the egress category as compared to the stock category. Now I want to know if the number of the no responses have anything to do with the number of the findings that has been created on this category. I want to narrow my discovery further on the category egress. So now what I'm seeing is on the category egress, there are two subcategories, fire safety and evacuation safety. And it's the evacuation safety where the non-compliance percent is higher. I am narrowing my search further down, and then I can see that there are higher level of no's as compared to the yes that we can find it on these particular facilities and these particular questions. I can further narrow it down to a question, or I can just take that learning from there and move along for more options that are available in the upcoming sheets. Now I'm looking for the non-compliance person and analysis on a particular category that I selected on the previous sheet, egress. So on the OUs, I see the highest number of the non-compliance person has been reported by the market for. Either I can narrow my search down there, I can see the similar information in terms of the US geography, I can see this information in another way in terms of the US map. I can also have another dimension look into is on that particular OU, how many audits have been assigned, and more the audits assigned, there will be more findings, right? So we can see that when there are 5 audits, the number of the findings are the highest on that particular market as compared to the other ones. So that is all relational, and it makes sense in here. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to see that for within egress category, what types of the findings are being created. So based on the question types, I can see that the compliance question type are the one where the highest finding counts are there, just because size of the box is the highest there. Another, within that category, evacuation safety is the one where the highest findings count are. And all of the information that I'm seeing right now is consistent with all the discoveries that I've made in the couple of previous sheets. This is the list report that provides us more details and it is a more simpler list way as to see as to how many questions have been there, out of which how many have been answered, how many findings have been created, how many yeses and how many no's. So for evacuation safety, total number of the answered questions are 120. And out of 120, 68 has been yeses and 52 has been no's. And of those 52 no's, there has been 66 findings that has been entered into the system. Another point to emphasize here is all of the data sets that you see on the screen is exportable. In ClickSense, you can export it as part of Excel. You can export as a static image in PDF or as an image by itself. If I care to share this information that I have just discovered with another person in my organization, or to collaborate with some other group in the organization, I can always take a snapshot of this graphic, put my comments on it, and then send it. Or I can include this snapshot as part of my story that I will be building on this particular ClickSense app. This visualization here provides me more further details on a question level as to how many findings have been created within this category and subcategory at the question level. Keeping my focus on still the egress category, I'm now looking into what kind of priorities have the findings been entered into. So I see there are some high priority findings, and that grabbed my attention. So those two number two high level findings have been created in two sites, that are Colorado and Texas, for these particular questions. I can see the similar data by clicking through these list report, and I can see there are high priority findings being created at these three facilities against these two questions. What are the findings what are the kind of the findings or the recommendations that has been entered can be sought through this simple list report. So that is kind of just to throw out an idea as to what all can ClickSense do and what kind of data discoveries can the ClickSense provide. We can also customize this application per the user requirements, and again, this is just a POC, a proof of concept that I would like to present to all the users. This is a simple list report that can be exported and more, or can be shared with the other in the organization as to what has been discovered, as to why there are high number of the findings in the egress, and as to which facilities have these been assigned to. So thank you everyone. That would be all for this demonstration. Please reach out for any further questions and queries to either myself or Chris Bone, who is the iEHS Product Analytics Dashboard demonstration. Thank you.